Good evening, good evening, good evening. I thought that'd be funny because I always say good morning, good morning, good morning. Not really that funny. I've been working all day and I really don't have anything to report today because, well, I just figuring out the forearm. That's what I'm working on right now. So I'm figuring out I'm getting from this part to this part. So from my elbow to my wrist joint. I have the elbow joint made, I have the wrist joint made, all the joints of the wrist joint made. Only one joint to the elbow, it's two on the wrist. Anyway, I have those made, now I'm trying to connect between them, and in between them is the pronation supination joint. The pronation supination joint is on a really weird axis on your body. It runs like from like here to here. I did this on a lot of old videos, but I know some of you guys are new, and I'm getting more views now per video, so I'll explain this again. It kind of runs from here to here to like this part of your, it runs from like up here to here. So it runs diagonally, and so like if you rotate your hand and you try to keep this part of your bone still, this is kind of how your body wants to naturally move. This one rotates a little bit around this bone, so essentially your radius rotates around your ulna. So your ulna rotates around your radius a little bit, I think, but it mostly is just one bone rotating around the other bone. If you look at the way your bones, they actually kind of wrap around each other. So that's kind of how that works, and it makes it complicated to design for because it throws off all the right angles. And what I think I'm going to do is, I was doing the double joint, which I liked on the arm. This is something else I've gone back and forth about a lot too, but I made a video, you can look it up, you can look up the axes of rotation of the pronation supination joint of the forearm. That's the name of a video I made. And it's actually, as far as I know, it's probably one of the best resources on that motion of the forearm. It took me quite a while. There's only some like really, other than like some academic studies, but those are boring to read. So I have the best information on that axis of rotation. Not that there's a lot of people who need to know that, other than people building exoskeletons, really, maybe some physical therapists. Anyway, you can go watch the video. It's pretty interesting. I had to go through and find it and figure it all out. It took a little while. It took some digging, but that's how I figured it out. And then this last, on attempt 2, and then carried into attempt 3, in the skeleton, I spent a lot of time trying to get that as perfect, and I just spent a lot of time thinking about it and looking at it from every angle. I realized at some point I want to get a 3D scan that also has like an MRI, and you can see all my bones in the 3D scan in there, so I can put them, because you can look up and figure out exactly where rotations are. You can figure this shit out better if you can see the bones. I'm having to infer where they all are based on a scan of my body like this. Definitely better than the way I did it on that old 3D printed exoskeleton I made, where I was literally holding a ruler up to my body and trying to figure shit out, and like, I'll measure across and then in, and that'll be where definitely a step up from that. But if in the future, on let's say Mark 3 or Mark 5, or I think Iron Man had 85 before he died in Avengers Infinity War. Somewhere in there I need to get one with a scan of me so I can make them even more precise. I digress. What was I saying? Oh, so the fact that it's angled like that makes it really hard to design for. Like, it makes it hard because you have to angle it and catch it. And I'm starting to figure it out. I actually was, at the end of the day, I was starting to finally figure out how I wanted to do it. And I still have a little bit of a headache today, but today, by the end of the day, it's starting to come together, and I actually really like the way it's coming together. It's starting to look really good. It's just, now I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna, so one thing I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring back instead of doing like the slider joints like I did on the, for internal and external rotation of the shoulder girdle, which is this motion. Those are running on slider joints. I'm going to bring back, I actually don't really know if I have a name for this type of joint because it's not really a hinge joint. I'll call it a ring joint. There's a ring, and then there's another ring that fits inside that ring. And if you look at my 3D printed exoskeleton video, that's how that one works. And at first, I had the axis of rotation of the pronation supination joint, I think, in the wrong spot, because this one, I spent a lot of time trying to make sure it was in the right spot, and it seems like it'll fit. The reason before is it seemed like I thought it was further to the outside of one side of your body, and so in order to do that, you have to make the ring really big, and then it sticks out. It fits on like one side. So like if this is the mass of my forearm, right, and then the axis of rotation was really close to the center, your circle almost has to be twice the diameter of your forearm, so it makes it really big. That's how I thought it was on draft 1. But on this draft, which I took more care and was more precise in how I did the axes of rotation of the pronation supination joint, it seems like it'll work with a ring. And what I'm leaning towards right now is just having a superficial ring, well, just having one ring and not having a deeper superficial ring. And it should still be really strong because it'll be supported all the way around. Literally, I can literally put like a dozen struts in it if I really wanted to. I probably won't put that many. Probably do like 4 or something like that. And then, but the skin will be welded around it and it'll be really fucking strong. There won't be any joints around it. It'll be essentially like a seam, well, that might not be entirely true because you have to get your arm into it. I'm still thinking about this. I haven't entirely figured out how I'm gonna get my hand into it. It gets really narrow at the wrist joint. What I'm imagining right now is being able to kind of slide my hand in there and get it in. And then, so the wrist joint, if you remember from that video, comes up kind of over the top. And so there's a joint here and here, and they rotate around here, here, and they on both sides, and then they come up, and there's another joint here that gives you this motion. So these joints give you this motion, and this joint gives you this motion, and there's nothing below. So the idea, they fit pretty close though, but the idea is to somehow get my hand in there like that, and then a piece will come in underneath and bolt in and then lock in right there. That's the idea anyway. My camera's getting hot again and I'm running out of batteries, so I'm gonna wrap this up. But that's the idea, and I'm working on that, and I don't have it entirely figured out, but I'm working on it. I'm getting close. I'm getting close. I'm starting to figure out how I kind of may attach it going down, coming from proximal to distal. So sorry about that. This stupid camera like overheats, but it's not at all hot. It's like not hot outside. The camera's not hot. I don't know, but anyway, I think I was saying the pronation supination joint, because it's angled, is difficult to get to, but I'm starting to figure it out. I'm starting to figure out kind of how I want to do it, and I have some ideas working. I just don't have it completely figured out yet. So I'm gonna think about it some more. I'm gonna sleep on it. I'm gonna cycle through it, and then tomorrow I'll have something awesome to show you guys. Hit the subscribe button if you are new to this channel and you want to see more of this, which you know you do. You know you do, because you watched till the end of the video. Why would you watch the end of the video if you wouldn't want to see more? You know I'm right. You know I'm right. I love you guys. You guys have a great one.